It is the Thursday morning show. Good morning, everybody. The rain is finally out of the area. We say goodbye to widespread rain, and we now start getting into a more May and June like pattern. Good morning, everybody. Take a look at what's going on this morning. Thanks to our sponsor, HB Neal Construction. If we slide over to our Tamco live Doppler radar, you can see all the rain is pretty much well outside of our area, just east of Lake Charles, spreading north of the Lafayette area. Louisiana and Mississippi is definitely going to get a lot more of the rain today, especially well towards the east. But a mostly quiet Thursday morning across southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. Again, we zoom out. You can see pretty much everybody else across the region towards the east and into the plains is getting the rain, but so far the state of Texas is kind of missing out on it. We see a little bit towards Mineral Wells just west of Dallas. But other than that, it's a pretty quiet morning here in the state of Texas. And if we slide over and look's going on the satellite and radar, thanks to our sponsor of Tamco Helgar Beyond Class 4, you can see a lot of clouds and a lot more storms going on into the Gulf, Louisiana, parts of Mississippi and Kansas. Just starting to see more of those clouds kind of surging into the Gulf or from the Gulf moving into parts of southeast Texas. So we'll kind of see the clouds really the next couple of days. But the biggest thing that we're seeing, we're kind of getting into a more drier pattern, less of the widespread rain, more of the more isolated kind of the next 3 to 5 days. By next week is when we start seeing a little bit better rain chances. Right now, we're going to start drying out today through the weekend. Those temperatures that we're seeing, sponsored by Do Good Credit Union across the United States, you can find some 50s. I think Yellowstone's probably the chilliest place over here, but everybody else is mostly into the 60s, 70s, and you got New Orleans over there already at the 80-degree mark. They are warm and humid, and that is one of the big reasons they're seeing all the rain so far this morning. We zoom in into our region, sponsored by Neutron Electrical Services. It's really kind of about the same, upper 60s to low 70s. Don't really see any mid-70s until further towards east where all that rain is over there towards Lafayette and east of Lake Charles, but you can see we're really kind of spreading from the upper 60s to the low to mid 70s. And we're going to continue to warm up today, sponsored by Modern Concrete and Material. It looks really good for this Thursday, even Friday, this weekend forecast. Mostly dry conditions, what we typically see in May and June. There's just a small chance for a stray shower, about 10 to 20% coverage for southeast Texas, and a little bit higher over there towards southwest Louisiana with 20 to 30% coverage, mainly this morning into the early afternoon. But the biggest thing is those temperatures are warming up quickly into the 80s. Will eventually top out into the middle to upper 80s. Some areas might get close to that 90-degree mark. Thanks again to Modern Concrete. You see on the Switch Electric Futurecast again, we're going to be mostly dry through the whole region. 10 to possibly 20% coverage for southeast Texas, and that's possibly overdoing it. We probably just go 5 to 10% coverage. But you see over there towards southwest Louisiana, a little bit better moisture. So they've got the chance for that 30% coverage mainly this morning into the early afternoon hours, and they dry out a little bit, but you still, by the time we get to the lunchtime into the afternoon hours, you still see a little bit of some lingering storms or lingering isolated showers that try to develop later this afternoon, and again, possibly along this evening, getting in just east of the Grand Lake area. So we're going to be mostly dry today, just a stray shower is possible, mostly towards southwest Louisiana. Other than that, we're starting to get into a summer-like pattern as we start up today, really through the next couple of days. And you can see that on this Futurecast, sponsored by Do Good Credit Union. This is what's going on in the upper levels. Notice the yellow is starting to build in a lot more. That's a high pressure ridge off towards the south. That's what's going to allow us to really kind of warm up into the upper 80s to near 90, if not into the low 90s, really Friday and through the weekend. But what you'll see is you actually still have a lot of storms that are still going on in the state of Texas, mostly out towards the west. Some big time storms out there and towards Mexico. So mostly dry this weekend and warm, but what we will see is with that area of high pressure down towards the south, we'll see a lot of those storms kind of spread around us. We call them these ridge riders. So we'll watch to see if any of these storms try to hold together Sunday evening out there towards West Texas. They'll move eastward going around the ridge. But as they move into our region Sunday evening into Sunday night, a lot of this will fall apart. We'll just track to see if any of them do hold up. We're just going to be watching, really, in the state of Texas, storms blowing up out there towards the west Saturday, Sunday, and possibly into Monday. We're going to be mostly dry, really kind of now and through the weekend. And again, you watch those storms fire up Sunday evening. They'll move eastward, but they'll probably fall apart by Sunday night. But we will continue to keep watching them. Other than that, Here we are. We're getting into that summer-like pattern. Very small rain chances now, really, and through Sunday into Monday. As we start getting into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, we kind of see that unsettled pattern kind of opening up a little bit as high pressure moves out. But other than that, we're going to be mostly dry and warming up into the upper 80s to low 90s, thanks to our sponsor of Switch Electric. And then this afternoon, it's going to warm up very quickly into the upper 80s. Some areas could get close to the 90-degree mark down towards the coast, mostly into the low 80s. Galveston, a little bit warmer, 10 to 20% coverage, and that's probably a little bit too high for Southeast Texas, that 20%. But we got a little bit better this morning, getting into Lake Charles in the Southwest Louisiana, 20% coverage, possibly getting up to 30% coverage. Thanks for a sponsor of Silsby Ford. Get you one. Then overnight tonight, mostly clear, mostly dry. Temperatures getting into the 70s. Low to mid 70s is pretty much what we'll be seeing all across the board. Thanks again to our sponsor of Silsby Ford. Get you one. And as we really start off the first week, June 3rd to June 7th, you see that the rain chances really are sticking alive for the state of Texas. A lot better towards Mexico and out there towards west and central Texas. They definitely will continue to be happy to get the rain. But because of this, just like reading a book, left to right is where those storms will start from. So they'll start out there towards West Texas, and we might see some of the moisture or leftover showers or storms still make its way into Houston as we get into parts of middle to end of next week. So you're just seeing the rain chances stick around for parts of the South, mainly out there towards West and Central Texas the first couple of days, or at least the first week of June. Here we are for the Southeast Texas 5 to 7 day forecast. Main thing you're seeing is we're getting into the upper 80s to low 90s the next 5 to 7 days. And this is really kind of looking like the pattern we typically see as we get into summer. Mostly dry, just a very, very small chance of rain. And as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when the door opens up for a little bit better coverage. Same thing for Southwest Louisiana. Today, probably a little bit too high with the coverage, but this is mostly this morning into the early afternoon, 20 to 30%. And then we stick around with low coverage at least now into Monday. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, the door opens a little bit better coverage for possibly scattered showers and storms. Wonderful time to go download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Thursday morning show. If you have not yet, please go download the Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. I went to Corville's yesterday to donate some blood. Really neat event MD Blend and Corville's put on. I think they had over 45 people that came and donated blood, so that was awesome. But it was really neat, the amount of people that were coming up to us and saying how much they love the Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. They have so many spots. They have kids that go to college, and they've got locations set for College Station or parts of Oklahoma and Florida, and they get all the notifications of what's going on with their college kids, saying, hey, some bad storms are moving in, some bad storms are moving out. So I thought it was really neat, everybody talking about the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. Thank you all for downloading it, and thank you all for tuning in again for the show. Y'all have a wonderful Thursday. I will see y'all again tomorrow morning, but we'll have more updates throughout the day today. See y'all tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful Thursday, everybody.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions is sponsored by.
At Gulf Coast Weather Solutions, we focus on delivering reliable weather forecasts. Our new app provides reliable weather updates and alerts no matter where you are. With real-time weather alerts and warnings, you can stay informed and prepared wherever you go. Download the Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app today on the App Store and Google Play, and stay connected no matter where you are.